The crazy demon, cornered by the demonic cult at a cliff, reminisces about his past dream of becoming the god of martial arts, a goal others mocked. Despite relentless training, he felt it wasn't enough. The demonic cult's left hand illuminating light demands the stolen heavenly pearl. Irritated by the interruption, the crazy demon threatens to drop it. He boasts about his mastery of mind games and resilience to honey traps, which illuminating light sarcastically doubts, especially the latter. The crazy demon reiterates his jack-of-all-trade identity in his pursuit of martial arts godhood, while the cult listens blankly. He laments his past efforts for justice, feeling meaningless. Illuminating light cuts him off, noting of his high Murim Union wanted status. The crazy demon again threatens to drop the pearl, prompting more apologies. He realizes the pearl's importance due to illuminating light's unusual restraint despite his men dying. Illuminating light finally snaps, demanding silence. The crazy demon, sensing a fight, considered discarding the pearl because it's bothersome holding the pearl while fighting. Panicked, illuminating light apologizing for showing his emotional side, wanting to talk it out. Now, the crazy demon is the one who snaps because of the demon cult trapping him using the heaven's net. He couldn't sleep nor eat, not only that he didn't have time to take a shit. The left hand illuminating light answer that is what the heaven's net does. Annoyed by the trap's restrictions, he eats the heavenly pearl, shocking illuminating light. As illuminating light orders his death, the crazy demon fights back, urging the leader to face him directly. Despite injuries, he clashes with illuminating light, resulting in the leader losing an arm and the crazy demon falling off the cliff. In his final moments, instead of being disappointed that he lost, he ponders about his lack of romantic success. He then wakes up in a golden space, greeted by an ancient being. The elder scolds him for eating the soul-filled pearl, warning of Berserk Ki. When asked why, the crazy demon explains he didn't want the demon cult leader, whom he sees as inhumane, to consume it. Impressed, the elder grants him a lifeline, and the crazy demon awakens, beaten up in his childhood inn. Yi Zaha knew without a doubt that he was back in his 20-year-old body. This was no dream. It was a second shot at life, a chance to accelerate his martial arts training. The cut on his face and the state of his ruined inn were stark reminders of the ridiculous incident. A misinterpreted joke about a courtesan's song had led to this. A cold fury settled within him. He instinctively uses the art of the journey through the Steel Lands, a surge of unexpected ki flowing through him. He reached the first stage with astonishing speed, and a fleeting memory of the elder's words flickered in his mind. Driven by hunger, Yi Zaha walked around the town. The irritating whispers of the townsfolk, their skewed perception of him, only fueled his simmering anger. It was this simmering anger that eventually led him to the Plum Blossom brothel. It was a place of past indignity, but now, he approached it with a different intent. A rude guy confronted Yi Zaha, blabbering. Yi Zaha asked him his name because he didn't remember. The rude guy responded with a clumsy punch, easily brushed aside. The brothel guards mirrored this aggression, their attacks equally futile. Yi Zaha strode through the doors, his voice cutting through the silence as he demanded service. The patrons within frozen in surprise. Bodyguards immediately confront him, questioning his presence. Obviously, place to drink, Yi Zaha retorts confidently. As a bodyguard moves to strike the manager, Cha Sungtai intervenes using the excuse a customer is a customer to usher Yi Zaha to a private room. Even the servant who leads him there looks down on him. Drinks and food arrive, and right away, Yi Zaha asked about the liquor. Top quality Du Kuang, the server claimed, but Yi Zaha just brushed off their concerns about upsetting the owner and kept calling for chai haiying. Once the servant finally left, Yi Zaha took a sip and immediately knew it was a total fake super low-grade stuff. Just then, a man burst in and calling him crazy. Yi Zaha, cool as a cucumber, just asked, is an errand boy not allowed to drink at a brothel? He remembered the man was Dong Guok and invited him for a drink. Dong Guok warned him to leave right after his drink to avoid trouble. Hey, Dongguok, Yi Zaha said calmly. Dongguok slammed the table, hand poised to slap him. But Yi Zaha was faster, stabbing Dongguok's hand. Why's everyone barking like some horny dog? Yi Zaha scoffed. Dongguok was cut off by Chai Hyang, who entered and ordered him to wait outside. She then sat down directly across from Yi Zaha. Why are you smiling? She snapped. Is this a game to you? Do you honestly believe Sung Tai or the owner will let this slide? Pay up and get out, she insisted, then added with disdain. I wouldn't sleep with you even if you paid me a sack of gold. I never intended to sleep with you, Yi Zaha calmly stated. I only came to hear a song. He reminded her of her boasts about selling art, not her body, dismissing it as a joke the Yin often made because, as he put it, he had neither the inclination nor the cash. That's why I looked for you, he explained, then simply told her to leave. She looked surprised and paused, prompting him to sharply repeat, get out. Several more bodyguards arrived to leave to prevent a violent confrontation. He was completely nonchalant. Just let me finish this drink, Yi Zaha told them. You can always kill someone like me. They chuckled at his audacity. When he offered them a drink, they declined, telling him to take it outside. Yi Zaha drained the fake liquor, still scoffing at it being called top quality. Am I that much of a joke? They shot back that he could have just taken a beating days ago, but now he'd escalated things, and they had swords. Yi Zaha let out a chilling laugh that they all echoed before suddenly lunging at him. Yi Zaha was quicker, flipping the table with a powerful kick, sending it flying at them. Planting a foot on his attackers, he announced, Am I still a joke? Bring me more of that shitty shelf wine, Yi Zaha insisted to the bewildered servant, his voice sharp. The servant quickly exited. As if on cue, manager Cha Sung-tae entered with his men, precisely as Zaha seemed to have predicted. You'll pay with your life for this. Yi Zaha simply smirked, fluidly evading Sung-tae's lunge before decisively smashing a wine bottle over his head. Anyone else? Zaha scoffed. Sung-tae's face glistened with cold sweat as he started to unsheath his sword, muttering about Zaha's death wish. Better think again, Zaha snapped, cutting him off. Unsheathe that, and you die. A cold shiver shot through Sung-tae. He felt the absolute seriousness in Zaha's voice. Cowed and completely deterred, Sung-tae waved his men downstairs. They conversed, and Sung-tae served Yi Zaha the real Dukang liquor. Yi Zaha remained annoyed about the earlier fake wine. Sung-tae offered a nonchalant apology, but Yi Zaha's impatience grew. With keen intuition, Sung-tae swiftly bowed, begging for forgiveness. Chai Hyang looked on, puzzled by the sudden turn of events. Chai Hyang sat down, and Yi Zaha suddenly spoke to her about his feelings. Even errand boys can feel love, he said. Chai Hyang looked at him, her eyes gleaming. But I never felt that way towards you, Yi Zaha retorted, cutting her off. Leave. Displeased, she stood and left. Yi Zaha then warned Sung-tae to mind his manners. Sung-tae replied politely, earning Zaha's praise. Zaha was waiting for the brothel owner when he learned the owner was occupied with the Black Panther clan's leaders. Knowing he couldn't just walk away, Zaha's mind shifted gears. He'd recruit the Zhou brothers and start his own sect back in Ilyang. With that decision made, he invited Sung-tae, laying out a clear ultimatum: choose the Black Panthers or choose Zaha. Zaha stopped by Dragonhead Forge. Yong Gai, the apprentice, recognized him from the inn and assumed Zaha wanted to settle his bill. No, Zaha retorted. I need weapons against the Zhou brothers. Yong Gai pitied Zaha, thinking anger was driving him to throw his life away. Unmoved, Zaha demanded to see the weapons: a light sword, durable whip, or sharp daggers. They brought out everything for 19 yang. Short on funds, Zaha bargained to borrow it for 15 yang, promising to return the full amount after the fight. When they refused, Cheol Yong Jum, the head blacksmith, intervened. He offered to mediate with the Zhou brothers to make them stop bothering Zaha, or, if they wouldn't, to protect him right there at the forge. Zaha appreciated the offer, but, confident he could handle it, respectfully declined. As for his plan, Zaha suggested uniting Ilyang's local forges into a blacksmith sect to fight the Zhou brothers' extortion. His house sect would be broad, including a brothel rehabilitation group and architects, organized by profession, with no bribes or hierarchy. The blacksmith had found the concept interesting, but doubted Zaha's confidence. "You'll see," Zaha stated. The head then gave him the weapon free of charge, promising further talks if he survived. As Zaha meditated peacefully within the inn, the sound of digging abruptly reached his ears from outside. He quickly realized it was the Joe brother's second brother and his underlings, preparing a grave specifically for him. Zaha came outside, and the second Joe brother, a menacing look on his face, ordered him to sit. After a brief, tense conversation, Zaha swiftly stabbed and killed him. The Joe brothers' underlings froze in terror, seeing their master dead, and quickly clarified they were from the Pear Blossom brothel, not the Black Panther clan. Zaha offered them a choice: death or bury the body and return home. All three eagerly agreed. One even asked Zaha for kitchen work. "Worry about your own life for now," Zaha replied. He then met Sung Tae inside the inn, still congratulating himself for avoiding trouble, rushed off with an angry expression to buy snacks because of Zaha's insistence. As they ate, Zaha watched Sung Tae enjoy his meal. "Savor it." As he bought the food with fake wine and exploited women, Zaha sneered. Sung Tae quickly changed the subject to Zaha's plans after killing the second Joe brother. Frustrated by Sung Tae's passive attitude, Zaha advised him to train instead of just worrying. When Sung Tae lost his temper, Zaha's threatening response made him back down. Sung Tae redirected the conversation to eliminating the Black Panther Union. Zaha agreed, but prioritized dealing with the remaining Joe brother first. His casual mention of murdering Joe Ilsum unsettled Sung Tae, who noted it would soon be time for the other Joe brothers' return. Zaha offered Sung Tae the opportunity to manage all three inns once the Joe brothers were eliminated. When he laid out his vision, which included worker safety, health care, and fair wages, Sung Tae hesitated. "It will be difficult," he protested. Zaha simply stated he could find someone else. "I am Cha Sung Tae, too early for retirement," replied with a confident smile. After borrowing Sung Tae's clothes, Zaha headed to Joe Ilsum's location. He ordered the guard to fetch Joe Ilsum, who arrived furious to find Zaha sitting in his chair. Joe recalled ordering his brother to kill this man. Zaha smiled. "I'm alive because he isn't." Enraged, Joe lunged at Zaha. Using his ki, Zaha effortlessly deflected the attack and seized Joe by the throat. "For someone who spent years killing and selling villagers, you're pathetically sloppy," Zaha taunted. He slammed Joe against the wall, killing him instantly. Zaha casually returned to the inn, leaving Sung Tae amazed at how swiftly he had dispatched the Joe brother. Zaha instructed Sung Tae to clean the inn, then began his cultivation practice. Days and nights passed as he trained without stopping. Sung Tae walked cheerfully through town, hearing rumors that the errand boy had killed Joe Ilsum. When he arrived at the inn, he was struck by a terrible stench. "Did you take a shit indoors?" he shouted, retching, while Zaha sat there irritated but powerless to do anything about it. While Zaha was taking a bath at the inn, Chai entered the room on Sung Tae's instructions. During their encounter, Zaha advised her to carry herself as a proper host rather than a prostitute. Grateful for his words, she thanked him and departed. Shortly after, Sung Tae rushed in with alarming news. The inn was ablaze. It was revealed that the last surviving Joe brother and his associate had set the building on fire. The associate challenged Joe Sampung, stating that if he truly wanted to establish a sect in Ilyang, he would need to face the errand boy himself. Zaha accepted the challenge with the taunt, "Handle your own dirty work," instead of delegating it. Jisok of the Black Sea Wolves is the one who will oversee the fight. The fight was brief but decisive. Zaha dominated without using his sword, neutralizing his opponent with a powerful punch to the stomach before disarming him and delivering a fatal slash after taking the sword from Joe's hand. When Jisok attempted to diplomatically retreat with a smile and compliments about the fight, Zaha saw through his facade. As cold sweat dripped down Jisok's face, he made a desperate attempt to escape. Zaha, showing no mercy, pursued and killed him without hesitation. Everyone stood in awe, including Sung Tae, witnessing Zaha's incredible strength. Turning to those who set fire to his house, Zaha thundered, "Who gave you permission to burn someone's home? Should I return the favor?" The perpetrators, trembling with fear, begged for mercy, but failed to explain their actions. Sung Tae, attempting to lighten the mood, suggested they might have burned it due to the terrible smell emanating from the inn, leaving townspeople puzzled about the source of the stench. Though briefly contemplating Sung Tae's execution, Zaha instead ordered him to rebuild the inn with help from the arsonists. When Sung Tae questioned this decision, Zaha's threatening response quickly silenced any protests. Accepting his fate, Sung Tae proposed they improve the building, leading to the establishment of the Zaha Inn Training Hall. Zaha instructed him to recruit talented individuals, dismissing Sung Tae's concerns about the Black Rabbit Union's retaliation with confident assurance of his protection. Upon naming their sect the Low Down, Sung Tae, convinced this was a different Zaha from the one he knew, finally gathered the courage to ask why he'd been spared. Zaha's casual response about wanting to torment him left Sung Tae resigned, but relieved to be alive. That concludes part 1 of the return of Crazy Demon. How will our Crazy Demon continue on his path to supremacy? Stay tuned.